Alright, so we started this off in the previous video. If you haven't taken a look at it, do consider that. But this one is about a concept that I learned a while ago, not very long ago, maybe a decade at most. And it's from a book called Pay It Forward. And what I was talking about in the previous video was that often in life, when something nice is done to you, you consider it as a debt that you've got to pay back to the person who did that for you. And whilst that's a great idea in itself, always good to, keep filling each other's tumbers when you can. More often than not, the person who's doing this generous deed or the nice thing doesn't always need it back because they're kind of grown to that level where they're more givers than takers. So what is more essential in this world is when something nice is done to you, you kind of consider paying it forward. And although I read this book only a few years ago, this concept I think has somehow existed in my head and my life one way or the other because I've seen it happen a lot. So I was talking to a friend yesterday and I told him a story, which is something that I had possibly initiated, but I want to go back a little bit and connect it to things that have happened in the past for me. So when I was in college, studying for my engineering degree, there were times when the family was going through a stressful situation and money was tight, and it could have meant that I would either have had to take a break from my education or possibly even give up on my degree because I might not have been able to pay the fees. And that's when some of my uncles and aunts, relatives, friends of my parents, they stepped up and very easily kind of chipped in with that money. It wasn't small money for that time. It was significant, I can tell you that. And it happened so seamlessly, so easily that things just worked. And here I am, with that degree in hand, which I could so easily have not had. And these people, they know who they are. I'm not going to mention them because mentioning one will be disrespect to the others. So they know who they are if they're ever going to watch this. When they did this, I'm positive that they weren't really looking at getting it back in terms of a debt being repaid. So as I grew up, and I started making money for myself, I obviously had the opportunity to return some of these, I don't want to call them debts, but return some of the money because it was the right thing to do. But more than that, what was necessary was that I took that forward. And there was a time where at a place that I was working at, there was this office boy. I don't want to name him, so I'm going to call him Sam for this particular video. So Sam was this office boy who would do odd jobs, clean the coffee machine, sometimes cleaning the cafeteria, replenishing supplies, all of that. He seemed like a very bright young kid. So I used to chat with him sometimes, and I once asked him as to how much he had studied in terms of how far he'd gone with his education. And he told me then that he stopped just short of the 10th grade, which is kind of a milestone here where I live. So I spoke with him and asked him to go, figure out a way of completing that particular degree, maybe via correspondence, if he had to. And a few days later, he came back to me with the details, and there was obviously a fee involved. And I just happened to give him that amount. It wasn't a very big amount. Again, sizable for him, I'm guessing. So I gave him that money and asked him to go register for the course. A year later, he had that degree, and he came back to me and told me that he had a degree, and I was like, okay, now let's go ahead, let's go do the next thing, let's go get the next milestone. Um, and I guess we worked on that too for a bit. Now, I moved away from that place of work, and incidentally, back then mobile phones weren't as popular around here, so I didn't have his contact details, so I wasn't ever in touch with him. But almost 5-7 years later, I had a knock on my door, and when I opened the door, there was a pizza delivery guy. I hadn't ordered for a pizza, so I was wondering what he was doing there. But before I could respond to that question, to myself that is, I looked at his face and I was like, Sam, what are you doing here? Why are you delivering pizzas? And he looked at me and he was like, oh, it's you. And he was like, don't worry, this is not my primary job. This is just something I do on the side because I have to, I want to make some more money for my family. But there was a sparkle in his eye, and he was like, do you know something? I want to tell you. I was like, yes, tell me, where are you with your education? Did you not complete that second degree or the second milestone? And he was like, oh, I totally did, and I went well beyond that. I am a graduate now. I have a bachelor's degree, and believe it or not, I am working as a clerk, or basically someone in the office for that same company. So the place where he was an office boy, he was now working as a clerk. So he'd obviously upped his game and his place in life in some ways. Now he was talking to me and he was like, I want to repay this someday. And the thing that instantly came to mind is, please don't even think about it. Go find more people who we can just do something about in ways of getting them to a place that is slightly better in life. It's not that hard, is it? For most of us, we're privileged in more ways than one, and these are frankly way easier than we can imagine, these things that need to be done. Imagine the number of lives we can make easier. Imagine the number of hearts that will beat a little easier if just keep paying it forward all the time. I can't even tell you how lucky I am to have the nicest things being done to me pretty much every day. Don't even know what I've done to deserve it. But the least I can do is pay it forward, bit by bit, if not by a lot. So that was that. That was one of the examples. I was talking to this friend of but he knows who he is, so yeah, he'll probably be smiling when he watches this video. I think he will. So that was that, and I guess I've enjoyed this video more than a lot of the other ones I've recorded for some reason. Thank you for listening in, as always, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Sorry about the noise again. Have a good one, folks.